First question here in the first part would be, Madina, do you study or do you work?
Well, currently I'm working as an Ielts instructor at a learning center in Tashkent.
Do you like your job?
Well, I'm quite passionate about my job. I've been enthusiastic about teaching since my early childhood. So I feel I'm blessed to teach those wonderful students every day.
Is there anything you don't like about your job?
Definitely there are some lazy students who make you unhopeful about your job, who make you kind of depressed about your job, but still every job has their own difficulties, so.
Have you ever considered choosing a different profession for yourself?
Well, that's an interesting question. I've thought about, I had different options. Maybe teaching something else, something related to technology, or being an entrepreneur like Steve Jobs, maybe, to have a tech company, because I'm also really, I'm really interested in technology as well.
Okay. Now, Madina, let's talk about friends here in the first part. I have a few questions about this topic. Do you prefer to have one particular friend or a group of friends?
To be honest, as an introverted individual, I guess having one or two closest best friends is enough for me, because I can't handle communication within large group of friends. So, yeah.
Okay. What do you like doing most with your friends?
As long as my beloved people are around me, it doesn't matter whatever I do, but mostly I like to hang out in fresh air. Being a fresh air fiend, I really like to go somewhere, spend time outdoors, just view beautiful sceneries and so on.
Okay. And do you think it's important to keep in contact with your friends you knew as a child?
Actually, I have a couple of friends whom I've been in touch with since for over 15 years. Well, I guess this is important because you've shared so many moments with them, and those people know my deepest secrets, which other people don't know, so I can trust them easily. Yeah.
And what do you think makes a good friend?
Trust and loyalty and acceptance. By acceptance, I mean a good friend should never judge you, but accept you as you are and always be on your side to defend you and to support you.
Thank you. We're now going to move on to the second part. Now, in the second part, Madina, I'm going to give you a cue card. And today the cue card is: describe an important choice you had to make in your life. You should say when you had to make this choice, what you had to choose between, whether you made a good choice or a bad choice, and explain how you felt when you were making this choice. Now, you will have this cue card for yourself, and you will have this pencil right here to make notes, and you have a minute to prepare. Now the time is up, and you will have to start right now. And please remember, you should speak for at least 1 minute, up to 2, in the second part of our speaking test. You can start.
Okay, so one of the most momentous choices I've made in my life would be the choice between learning English or Chinese language, and obviously, as you can sense it, I've chosen English. Well, I had to make this choice when I was studying in primary school. I guess around 7 or 8 years of age. Well, and back then I started learning English language so as to master this language fully in all of its complexities and so on. Well, and until today, I sometimes hesitate whether I made a good choice or not, but again, the payoff shows that choosing English was beneficial to me in many ways, because English language is far simpler than Chinese, which has over 50,000 different characters, but in some ways Chinese language is easier because it has a less sophisticated grammar than English. And but the bad thing about choosing English was that English language it no longer belongs to English people only, whereas Chinese is spoken in China. by which I mean knowing English. And nowadays, English language belongs to everyone, like all over the world. So knowing English enables me to access the knowledge from all over the world, all of the modern knowledge, and science, IT, engineering, everything, all of those knowledge base can be accessed by just simple mere knowledge of English. And apart from that, nowadays we've got great opportunities to make financial profit with the help of knowing this language. And just a few examples could be, teaching career, voice acting, and maybe writing some stories, books, scripts, translating jobs, traveling, and so on.
Okay, thank you. Now we're going to move on to the third part. Now here in this third part, we will continue talking about choices that you make regularly in everyday life and important choices as well. And the first question is, what are the typical choices that people make at different stages of their lives?
So most typical choices could be choosing which university to study in, or choosing in which field to major in, and of course marriage, like what person whom to spend the rest of their lives with, and so on. Maybe like something could be about buying accommodation, housing.
Okay. Should important choice be made by parents rather than by young adults?
To be honest, I tend to believe important choices should be made independently. Of course, they can consult with their parents, but the final say should be made by the adults themselves, as it ensures continued happiness and responsibility for their own life.
Okay, and why do some people like to discuss choices with other people?
Maybe they are because of their indecisive nature, or maybe they are hesitant about their choices, so they need support from their close people.
Okay. And now let's talk about choices in everyday life. What kind of choices do people make in their everyday life?
Well, maybe, for example, till coming here, I had a choice. I had three choices. I could take subway, I could take a taxi, and I could walk. Well, and then apart from that, maybe what food to order, healthy food or fast food, whether to order food delivery or go on site and eat in a restaurant, and so on.
Okay. And why do some people choose to do the same things every day?
Because some people like to have fixed daily routines to increase their efficiency, and this also beneficial for our biological rhythms, because if you wake up and go to bed at the same time, it will improve your sleep quality and productivity. And apart from that, they can save time, they can be more productive.
Okay. And do you think that people today have more choices to make than in the past?
With the rise of globalization, the range and extent of choices have increased beyond the imagination of our past generations. So I guess yes. For example, nowadays, if you want to study in a university, you don't have to choose the university in your hometown, but you can choose any university from all around the world and get information about them through internet. And the same thing applies to jobs and choices regarding even personal matters, such as buying accommodation or even buying clothing, and so on.
Okay, thank you for participating in this speaking exam. Good luck. Now, when it comes to this course that this candidate is going to get, the fluency and coherence is surely a 9. I was very impressed. She was very fast, and she didn't hesitate much. I didn't hear much repetition as well, so I was really impressed by that. The lexical resource is a 9 as well. The candidate has used vocabulary in most of the times with a very, again, impressive fashion and a very impressive style, and the words were relevant to the topics that we have discussed with her. When it comes to pronunciation though, it's an 8, and grammar is going to be an 8 as well, because the candidate did make some errors, mistakes when it comes to the articles, and when it comes to pronunciation, th was not pronounced correctly on a few occasions, right? So instead of saying th, the candidate said s, for example, wis, which is a pronunciation mistake. Overall though, this is an 8.5. That is the overall bench score that this the student is going to get.